Going off-grid sounds so beautiful. No more energy bills, no more depending on the grid, just me and my solar panels living our best life together.
Hang on, Josh, stop. The reality is considerably more complicated than that.
Oh no!
In this video, we're going to go through how many people in the UK actually live off-grid and also discuss whether solar panels can realistically power a home on their own.
I'm Josh.
I'm Charlie.
Let's go!
Around 2,000 households are currently off-grid in the UK. More than 350 of these are in Northumberland alone, although some estimates put this as more than 500 in the county.
Crucially, most of these 2,000 homes didn't choose to go off-grid. Instead, they were missed out by Britain's free electrification programmes in the 50s, 60s and 70s. Most of them would rather be connected to the grid and avoid the high costs, general inconveniences and power cuts associated with off-grid life.
Unfortunately, most of these homes now face extremely expensive grid connection costs that can run into the tens of thousands of pounds or more. If you're enjoying this video, hit like.
And subscribe, please.
The cost of connecting to the grid for a typical domestic home is about £2,600, but for other homes, including most of the 2,000 off-grid homes in the UK, it is a lot more expensive than that.
Yes, so distribution network operators will charge more for remote locations. They will also charge more for underground installations. Northern Power Grid told The Guardian, they supply North East England with electricity, they told The Guardian that underground installations typically cost about 3 times more than overhead ones.
Underground connections are necessary in parts of the country where overhead power lines aren't allowed, like, for example, Northumberland National Park. For example, Northumberland resident Steve Beattie received a quote from Northern Power Grid to connect him and 2 neighbours to the grid at £478,000.
Newcastle resident Clive Johnson, he's a smallholder and he lived in a mobile home 50 metres away from a housing development's electricity supply. He was quoted £40,000 in 2013 for a mains connection. And Vanessa Corby, who also lives in Northumberland, was quoted £44,000 for a mains connection in 2017.
She says that powering a home is costing her £800 a month, and she says that people often dream of living off-grid, but it's a nightmare. It is theoretically possible to go off-grid with solar, but there's no simple answer for all households. A solar and battery system could provide you with power at varying levels throughout the year, but to have a consistent source of power all year round, you'd need to make a massive investment.
Yes, the Energy Saving Trust has rightly said that a renewable electricity generation system using wind, water or solar power could be the answer, but you're going to need multiple systems almost certainly to make it work.
Solar panel output peaks in summer, while wind and hydropower output normally peaks in winter, so some combination of these technologies alongside a backup generator could produce a network that can provide a consistent source of power throughout the year.
Think of solar panels as the Brian May of your off-grid set. They are a key member of the band, but they would struggle to make it on their own. If you're very set on going off-grid and you definitely want to make solar panels part of your setup, here are the key tips to make them work as reliably as possible.
Number 1 is to scale down your electricity usage, so to give your panels the best chance of supporting you, reduce how much power you're using. One early step is to get rid of devices that require short, sharp bursts of electricity. For example, an electric kettle, which surprisingly uses a lot of power early on when you turn it on. It usually needs a 3 kilowatt burst of energy.
Instead, you can heat water on a hob using a fuel like gas or oil. Now, given that electric kettles are out of the question, it also follows that big devices like EV chargers or heat pumps are also not going to work in your off-grid setup.
Yeah, adding big appliances that need electricity is a no-no if you're going off-grid. Instead, consider something like a log burner or a biomass boiler or solar thermal panels.
It's also worth considering alternatives to tumble dryers and washing machines. You could hang your clothes on the line after hand washing them, and this will save electricity for more crucial items such as a fridge or freezer that use a ton of electricity.
But when it comes to unavoidable electric items like a fridge or freezer, make sure you get the most efficient models available, because all these small reductions in usage are going to add up over time. Number 2 is to consider additional renewable energy sources alongside solar, like we said, wind or hydropower. If your home is connected to the grid with solar panels, you can export all the excess electricity you generate in the summer, and in the winter you can lean on the grid to make up the gap.
Off-grid households can unfortunately do neither of these things, so they'll need to find an alternative source of renewable energy. One excellent option is a wind turbine. So if you get a 1.5 kilowatt model, you'll usually generate about 300 kilowatt hours of electricity per month in an area where the annual average wind speed is 14 miles per hour.
If you're wondering, the average wind speed in the UK over the last 20 years was 10 miles per hour, which means that a 1.5 kilowatt wind turbine could generate 210 kilowatt hours a month, equating to about 2,500 kilowatt hours of electricity a year. This is a decent chunk of the 3,400 kilowatt hours of electricity that the average home uses in the UK.
And if you've effectively reduced your consumption, it may cover all of it, although, like solar, wind is seasonal. It produces much more electricity in the winter than in the summer, which makes it the perfect counterbalance to solar.
There are roof-mounted versions of wind turbines available, but they're young and niche, like a hip new trend.
Yes.
Number 3 is to get a backup generator. Even with a network of renewable energy sources, it's still handy to have a backup. For example, on days where the sun isn't really shining and the wind isn't really blowing, or if you need to run a particularly high usage item, you can turn to your backup generator.
Absolutely, but these heavy box-shaped machines almost always run on diesel, though there are petrol, propane and gas versions available. If you're primarily relying on solar panels, you'll likely need a large machine to compensate you during the winter when the sun isn't shining much, it's usually overcast and the days are short.
You won't be surprised to hear that a solar and battery system for an off-grid home will cost tens of thousands of pounds. An estimate from solar installer Spirit Energy puts it at least £50,000.
That hypothetical design did include a heat pump, but even if you run your home on a different fuel and really cut your consumption down, it'll still take a ridiculously expensive system to run everything on solar energy for the entire year. A solar battery for a grid-connected system usually costs about £3,000 to £7,000 depending on its size, but that's when you're able to use the grid as a backup.
But for an off-grid home in the winter when your panels aren't producing as much, you'll need battery storage that is capable of holding on to every last kilowatt hour possible. And this creates a fundamental problem. You're going to have vastly oversized battery storage that sits horribly underused throughout winter.
It just doesn't make financial sense, and keeping your batteries at a consistently low state of charge is a bad idea as it makes their lifespan shorter. But if you don't scale up to this extent, you'll have to deal with regular power cuts.
For most people, going off-grid with just solar is not worth it. It's prohibitively expensive and it will still leave you vulnerable to power cuts. If you're off-grid, not by choice because of a prohibitively expensive connection to the grid, a solar and battery system can be helpful, but even if you reduce your usage, you still need to do other things as well.
You should definitely get a backup generator and consider using alternative sources of renewable energy, such as wind or hydropower. And if you're choosing to go off-grid, you should probably reconsider.
If you'd like to stay grid connected and you're looking to go solar, but you're feeling put off by the high upfront cost, consider SunSave Plus, which is the UK's first solar subscription. It means you can switch to solar with no upfront costs and instead make fixed monthly payments for 20 years. Your system will also be backed by the SunSave guarantee, which includes 24/7 monitoring, maintenance, downtime cover, insurance and free replacement parts. To learn more about SunSave Plus, click the link down below.
And please subscribe to this channel for more videos just like this one.
Goodbye.